let's do this. Let's get this going. Eyup FretHeads. If it's... Oh, there we go. We're on. Is this annoying? I just wonder if it just going to go on a little bit. We've got some theme tune music now as well, guys. Hey up, welcome to Wednesday's live stream. It is Wednesday the 18th of June 2025, and we're here. Hopefully, I've just left the end of the Man City game, so hopefully it's still 2-0 at the end. Let's just hope that's the case. To run up the stairs and make sure I was in tune, I'm might fiddle around with the dialing in a mid-tone on my guitar a bit as well as we go through today's lesson. But needless to say, thank you for coming along today. And hey up, if it's your first time here, let me know, because we'll do the roll call in a bit, and then, well, I'll give you a shout out. If you've never been before and this is your first time, I'm Ricky. I've been teaching guitar for a long time. 36, 37 years, maybe, something like that. Right, okay. Oh, there we go. What we've got is we have today's lesson. We're going to have an interesting one today. It's not from the book, actually, guys. This is not from the book. Today's lesson is actually something I've not taught before. But what's going to happen is, even though it's not from the book, I'll still show you the book because the book's important. All right, and then here's the book here. Right, let's have a look. Boom, there's the book. Right, if you've not got the book, then I was going to usually say that the lesson won't make sense, but there are bits in the book that will make sense. So it does tie into it as well. So that's what I'm saying. So I've got five. I've not even started. I've got five thumbs down, guys. What's going on there? Who's doing that? Is it the title of the video? I thought I'd be a little bit I don't know, a bit rumpugnacious. Is that even a word? Let's cancel those 5 thumbs down with thumbs up, please, if you don't mind. Let's cancel them out, because the thing is, at the end of the day, who is got a thumbs down a guitar lesson, a free guitar lesson that's going to show you something? It will change how you play your scales. It will. Now, I know it's a big thing when I say you're playing your scales wrong, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you another way that actually you'll probably end up using all the time, because I know I do. And that's the thing. What it is, it's about breaking it up. And that's, like I said, is this modular approach. So as usual with all these Wednesday night guitar class things, then what happens is the PDF goes into PDF Club. If you don't know what PDF Club is, then that's PDF Club there. Then you can check that out. There's a link in the chat, I believe, as well. So that's what we'll be looking at. We'll be putting that in there, and that usually goes out in an email as well with a direct link to just download it, and then you can save it to your computer and then print it off. Hopefully, I'm hoping you guys always print this off. So yeah. So it's not from the book. Is this lesson today? It's still means you need to give this a wallop a like, though. So it's not from the book. I'm going to turn this ticker off at the top here, guys. I'm just going to boom, hide that there. So that's the information about PDF Club. I can see you all joining the chat here, guys. Everybody's rolling in, getting ready for today's lesson. I don't know how you could thumbs down that, Richard. Yeah, so this is the thing, yes. The idea with guitar, with today's class, is it's about strategies. Playing guitar is all it's all about having different ways of attacking the same topic. Yes. Now, the one that we all learn, and I'm not saying that box patterns are a bad way to learn things. What I'm saying is that it's not the only way. And when I say that this is that you're playing them wrong, well, do you know if what happens is most people do end up playing them wrong, because the thing about the pentatonic patterns, and let me just show you guys, because this is what people do. You get a box pattern and you go, and they run up and down it like that. Yeah, and you don't know where to connect it, and that's the thing. You know the next pattern. All right, okay, we'll make some music with it. Now, the way we make music with it is we break everything down into chunks. If you think about it, musical vocabulary, yes, it's broken down into chunks. We have questions, we have answers, we form phrases, and we have a conversation. And that's what this is all about. You know, when you play a scale, you're basically trying to say everything all at once in a sequence, and it's just very boring. And this is the thing. The patterns are what we're after here. And this is what I'm going to show you, guys. You know what I mean? This is what I'm showing you today. So what we'll do is we'll get into it. So yes, this will be a lead guitar idea. This is also the good thing about this is as well, what it does is it allows you to play fills with your chords. Because remember, this is, if you've read the description of this, it's about connecting triads and your pentatonics. That's what this lesson is all about. If you're in the fretboard fraternity, then you will know that we posted that in there. If you're not in the fretboard fraternity, there's a link there. You can join that. It's free. It's a free community, ad-free, politics-free, just wholesome guitar goodness. That's what's going on in there, guys. So if you wanted to join there, then you're more than welcome to. It'd be great to see you in there. So that's what I'm saying today. So what we're doing is we're looking at this way of doing it. I'm going to give this a solid strategy. Yes, this is a solid strategy. That's what I'm giving you. So it will change the way that you you play scales. It will. I'm sorry, but it is. And this is it. You played scales wrong and you don't even know it. So this is the thing, right? And it's a lofty claim, I know, but you know, this is YouTube, man. This is modern day YouTube, and you've got to do that with your titles, or nobody turns up. Yeah. And then what I'm going to do today, then, so I'll be showing you this, what I think of as being a modular approach to the pentatonic, and it's basically. It's something people nearly get. They nearly teach you this thing, but it's always taught in the same way. And I've done a lesson on this in string pairs, guys. So if you don't know what string pairs, they're in the book. String pairs are in the book, yes? So we're talking about the way that the guitar is tuned, but what we're going to do is we're going to focus on the triads. So that's what today is going to be all about. So I'll show you this modular approach. This is super useful, guys. Now, as well as this, if you know about the 3 master triads, this is going to come in handy. But this is just like, what we're doing is we're taking the master triads and we're dissecting them and we're chunking them down. Because the whole idea, guys, is how do you eat an elephant? How do you eat an elephant? You can't bite it all in one go. So what you have to do is you have to chop it up into bite-sized bits. And that's what we're going to do today, guys. We're going to join up those pentatonics. I'm going to show you where to put them on the triads. But, yeah, the cool thing is there's only 2 patterns. There's only 2 patterns. Now, so let me get in with the preamble with this. So that's what's going on there, right? That's what the lesson's all going to be about. It's a good one. It's going to be a good one. I'll show you this. It's really cool. So now it is time for the roll call. Let's do a little roll call. Oh, little dry. So let me just get a sip of water. So yes, so what we're going to do, I'm going to go from this one here. I'm going to try and do this. I'm going to try and keep the questions in between this, guys. I'm going to break this up because it's a big lesson. So what we're going to do is I'm going to do the roll call now. I'm going to say hello to people. Like I say, if it's your first time, let me know in the chat and then we'll say hello to you and everybody will welcome you because that's what it's about, guys. We're a community. You know, this is the community manifest online on YouTube and this is the wonderful thing about it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the countdown on this and let's do the countdown on the roll call. So here we go. Let's go from the top here. We've got Christopher Campagna, Eyup from sunny Voorburg in Holland. It's very hot here in the UK as well in Yorkshire. It's very nice indeed. Relaxing meditation. Hope we're all watching. The family are keeping well. Looking forward to another great lesson from you tonight. Thank you very much. Relaxing meditation. Stuart Smith. Hi all. The Analog Kid. Eyup, my fellow fretheads. Winston Moy, Eyup everyone, and bring forth the waffle wisdom. That's the thing. We're going to do that. Elizabeth Azud, hey from CT USA. Ready. Good. We want to see that. John, City 2 up, but down to 10. I think it is safe to stop watching and start the lesson. It is. Yeah, it's finished. I heard something going on downstairs, but on the TV, but or the telly. Yeah, as we say here in Yorkshire. Yeah, I think it was all right. We're just excited to see new team members going in there, John. Harry Croker as well from Wolves. With that, Scooper Trooper, Chris is in the house. There we are in the chat, sorry. Jerry Linde is in Sweden. Martin Bailey. Hey up, everyone. Hello from sunny Hertfordshire, UK. Oh, Hertfordshire sounds as if it might be nice, better. Slightly better. It's still overcast, but it's sticky and humid here. Chimp number 1 is in the house. Smash that like button. Ken Guthrow is here. Mrs. Ricky's actually taken Miss Ricky to Girl Guides, so she's off doing something creative with twigs and wool and stuff like they do, that sort of stuff. Learning how to tie knots. So they will be hopefully they'll be back. Maybe they might not be back. I might have to fly solo on this. So we'll take the questions if you have any questions. That's why I thought about putting the questions in there like that. Scuba Trooper, hey up everyone, is the pub open? Chris Huston is ready for the guitar class. There we go. We have Araman 3048, hey up Team Ricky, let's rock. How long is that? It's getting there, isn't it? It's getting a bit tufty here. I did think about wearing a hat just to keep it tame, but I can live with it this week. We've got Bill Travis ready to play. Mario van Leuven in Belgium, in Antwerp. We've got Dave Doty. Give us a mention. Esteem is a bit low, unlike my position 4 minor pentatonic malarkey. What's going on there? Give us a mention. What's up, David? Right, what's going on? What's happening? What's occurring here? Look, the thing is, right, you've got to remember it's the journey that counts. If it's guitar, that is. If esteem is a bit low, then the thing is, this is where you find your solace. This is where you find your refuge, okay? This thing here, pour your feelings into it. And the thing is, that's always the thing that I've thought that when you learn guitar, I think it's easier to convey emotion when you've had deep emotions and all that sort of stuff. It's easy to do that because you can connect with them emotions, but also exercise them. So I will say that for me personally, guitar, it's a tool for comfort and solace. Yes, so that's the one there, David. But yes, David, there you go, mate. Chin up. We'll get there. Yeah. So let's do this. Robin Tate, hi everyone. Phil James, Eyup FretHeads. And Mrs. Ricky and Miss Ricky, let's have another great night. We will do. Scott Simmons, Colorado is here. Hi to all. Best to Ricky and Mrs. Ricky. Eyup. Wayne Johnson, get up from Cowtown. You got your own catchphrase as well here, Wayne. Now Shauna is in the chat. Hey Phil James, what's the PDF Club? Thunder Ace, my OG, in the chat. Thank you very much for coming along, buddy. Let's have a look at this. So who else we've got? Patrick. Patrick's in the chat as well. Evening. Playing pentatonics wrong? Well, I never. McFeedback, suspended from work, so I get to join in real time. Oh, well, let's hope it's for good reasons. You know, I don't know if you could be suspended from work for good reasons. We won't ask. Yes, we won't ask. Annick's in the chat as well. We've got, who else? Marcel LeBlanc is in the chat in Quebec, Canada. And we also have Al Muentz in the chat in the Grand Canyon State. Sounds exotic there. So let's have a look here. Cat Bubba, good to see you in the chat here. It's Rocky Ricky Wednesday. Frank Gladden says hello all. We also have Stevie Pinhead flying in from Seattle to be in the chat. Cat Bubba, I'm just going to put this up here because I just think it's like, we like that one. Yeah, so Richard Shields, hey up old lad. Rich is in there. Hey, if you're going to talk Yorkshire to me, then you're going to get,
hey by gum.
You're going to get some Yorkshire back there, old lad. So there we go. Create Love Happy, hey up from California, trying to learn swing blues like Kid Ramos. Good call. That's what we want to hear. Link Ow New. What's cracking at home is Stefan Weber. Hey up from Germany, everyone. Who else have we got in here? We've got lots of chat going on in here. We have Irene S. from Petaluma, California. Me as me in Vancouver, Canada, checking in. Papa Doc. Greetings from the birthplace of jazz and by extension the blues. Where are we in New Orleans? The new style of music moved up from the Mississippi River and was transformed into the blues in the Mississippi Delta. Oh, it's a dream of mine to actually go to New Orleans and see the real bluesy sort of stuff. Get that going. That would be great. So let's have a look. We've got Terry Lauder in here as well. Hey up, Terry. Good to see you. Mary, hey up from Colorado, Ricky. I've improved so much. Good. That's what we want to hear. You've improved so much. It's little by little. It's hard to see. You do a little bit. You do a little bit. You do a little bit. Increments, they compound, and then marvelous things happen. You reach this point it's almost like this point of combustion. That's what happens. You go, boom, boom, boom. You keep firing away at it. And then sooner or later, something happens and it's like, boom, there you go. You've got it. You've got whatever it is that you're working on. And that's the thing. It's being consistent. So that's the main thing that we want to pull out of this. Ron Carrillo is in the chat. Hey up, Californication. We also have Michael Burke. It is a warm one, indeed. We have, who else have we got? We've got Ryan Whitey with that. That's an emoji of some sort. Rattlesnake Roy, Yoriki. What's Skippy? I don't know what Skippy is. I'm a bit confused there, Rattlesnake Roy. But I did ask you the other week, was that from Calamity Jane? Billy Joe, here. Dan Lafferty, hey up Ricky. We've got Baswar Singer, hello sailor from India, love back to India. AMC, hi all from Hot London. It is hot in London, looking at it today. I saw a look at the weather. I can feel it here. Just, it's a bit... it's a bit close. Miguel Troch, I hope I'm saying that right, in New York City. We've got John. Hey, John, let's put John on there. Like, hey up, old lad. Now then, lad.
Now then, lad.
Oh, hope you're doing well. David Marsh, gloss up here. Hey up, lad. True Sean Armour is in the chat. Sup, Ricky. Angus MacDonald, hey up, R et al. From sunny Somerset. The book, Richard says the book is very important. If you don't have it, get it. Thank you very much. Maria is in the chat as well. From Mugs and Relaxing Meditation. Yes, there we go. We also have, who else have we got? Let's keep on going down. Mike Allen is in the chat. Hey, Ricky, thanks for looking marvellous today as I will watch, but can't play the guitar due to a dreaded trigger finger. Another splinter in the butt sliding down the banister of life. It comes to us all, doesn't it? It's one of those things that we've just got to endure, but carry on. Keep calm, carry on. That's the way it works, I think. But you can learn this and you'll be excited to do this. And maybe even just you map it out with one finger. That's what I'd do. You just miss out the finger that you can't do it with, maybe. If you can do it with another one, try it with another one. Yes? You've got a few more fingers. Yes? So there's no escaping practice. You're going to have to do your practice. I'm telling you now, Mike. Right, so Ingo Noel, hey up Ricky and Mrs. And Elizabeth says, you do bomb, Ricky. Oh, thank you very much. Renee Hartman, A up. SYX9. good morning from Las Vegas. Richard Shields. I know. John Steer, hello from Texas. The lesson even started. I know. Some people are looking for things to be angry at in the world. I think that's the thing. Something online, especially. We'll all be angry at that. It's funny. Who else have we got in here? Alan Mackey, we've got that. We've got said that. Clifford, Clive's in the chat. Hey up, folks. Edward Plump is in the chat as well from the Netherlands. We have Tyro Trainer. Hi, Philippines calling. There you go, Tyro. Let's have a look. Malcolm Denge, hey ups. We also have. I focus on patterns between strings. I hit. Mick England, good to be live for a change. Hope all is well. Yes, we're getting there. We're trotting on in life. You know, that's one of the things you've got to do, haven't you? So Tyro's Trainer was saying, I was just playing A minor pentatonic, trying to figure out position 2 to 5 using intervals. Then this popped up. There's lots of different approaches, and this is what I'm saying. Box patterns aren't necessarily wrong. I just said that for the title because you got to. You know, this is the way YouTube works. But, I believe that the way I'm going to show you is actually a little bit superior because the thinking behind it is, it's like driving in the fog. Yeah, when you look at the fretboard, when somebody gives you all the patterns and there's so much information that you need to visualize on here, if you try and remember it all, you'll be paralyzed in moving where you want to do. So what you do is you need to localize where you focus and make things smaller so that you can identify what they are and then actually use them. Now, a box pattern, it goes across 6 strings. Now, when you play chords, yes, obviously, you're going to play all 6 strings. But when you're playing single notes, then seeing the 6 strings, you'll be aware of this. Like I say, it's like driving in the fog. You only see the little bit of space in front of you that your headlights are showing you. Yeah. So when you're on here like this, on the thick E string, you're not thinking about this thin E string. Yeah, your focus is very, very narrow when you're looking at the fretboard. So what I'm saying is right, you might have that idea of that's where you're going to go, but what happens with that is it turns you into a more of a scaly box player. Yeah, so this is what I'm thinking. This is why I'm on about this strategy of making things more modular, smaller, easier to see. Yes, easier to see. So that's what we're doing. But we still need to learn the positions. We still need to learn the overall shapes. We still need to learn the 3+2 method for breaking up those box patterns. We still need to learn the mysterious version that I haven't taught you yet. That's another one that goes with this. There's so much I've got to show you guys. So that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying, Tyro Trainer. But let's hopefully you get a lot out of this because we're going to link it to chords. We're going to link it to chords. And like the other week when I was talking about triads and I was talking about chords on chords. Well, today's scales on chords. That's what we're looking at today. And that's the easiest way to think about it. If you want to think about this, how we do this, we're going to think about putting scales on chords. Really, really simple. You've got a chord. Put a scale on it. Where does it go? And that's it. Where does it live on the fretboard? Yeah. And then when you look at it, you go, oh, it's not massive. I can remember it. Yeah. And like I say, there's only 2 patterns. Right. But there is a missing part of the puzzle that nobody seems to touch on that I've seen on YouTube. I've not seen it anywhere really. But I'm going to touch on this. And if there's somebody out there as well, I will say, and I know, yeah, that if I see this in your video, then I know where you've seen it, okay? I know who you are. Yeah, I'm just saying there's somebody out there who's been very, very naughty at the moment with my content. Let's just say that. Bit of drama there, guys. So, that's what I'm saying. I know. It's blatantly obvious. So, I'm going to blow my nose. Yes, so what we've got is I'm going to show you this. I'm still going to show it you, yeah, because it's not about those kind of people, yeah. It's about showing you guys and not guarding it and all the knowledge and everything else like that. I want to be as authentic and as genuine as I possibly can in sharing what I know, yeah, and not holding back. And that's the thing. But some people make it very, very, very awkward, you know. So I'll just say that. So there we go. We'll carry on carry on down the chat. I'm off my hobby horse now. Jerry Moffat from Texas. We've got Rennie Hartman as well in Netherlands. We've got William Henning in Florida. We've got Mo Chef Canna. Chef Mo from the beautiful Hudson Valley, New York. Keep the blues alive. Yes, definitely keep the blues alive. We've got Edward Plomp in Zoetermeer. Joe Harvey, hello there. Mario Van Leeuwen. I've said hello to Mario, haven't I? I think I haven't I? It's hard to know. Let's have a look who else we've got. Dem Ravens is in the chat with peanut butter on toast, watching along. Who else do we have? Vicky DeMeo, hello. Veteran Vibes. Robert Kennedy in Texas. Tony Waters. I've run out. I've run out of the thing. Los Sama, what's up, Ricky? A chat. First time here. Oh, there we go. First timer. There we go. We'll give you a round of applause. Thank you very much for coming along. Yes, so thank you very much. So that's the one there. We got Jerry Eisenhower from Florida. Thank you for coming along. Yeah, it means a lot. We also have Stephen Connolly. Good afternoon. We also Tyro, is this your first time as well? I'll give you a round of applause. Didn't realise that was. I recognise you from the comments in the videos as well. Peter James Welch, hey up lad, Pete from Australia, originally from the Black Country. Oh, that's good. You've nicer weather probably in Australia. We also have Three Dogs Brewery, hey up, enjoying the content lately and the follow-ups. I like to kind of keep it and joining up with other things that we've done, because the thing is, if the last week's lesson is still fresh in your mind, yeah, then what will happen is you'll be able to connect it, you know. And if you've been practicing it obviously all week like you have, then you'll be go, all right, yeah, this is a no-brainer to just add to the whole thing. So there we go. We've got Phantoms in the chat. We also have Frank Gladden in the chat. It's Ganji Club from Star Wars, if so I'm in. Richard Taylor, thumbs up. Thank you very much. Phil Swan's in the chat. Dale Sam's in the chat. Who else we've got? Srenang. Hey up, Ricky. Fawaka Srenang. We've got Matt Cochran in the chat. We've got Joe Burnham in the chat. In Athens, in GA. Randall J. Warren from Ontario. We've got Michael Gregg in Missouri. Graham Penfold may have to go soon. There we go. Let's carry on down. I want to get through this, guys, and get started, because I've got a feeling this might be a big one. John Carver in Durham. We have Onno van Leersum in Holland as well. Who else have we got in here? Chuck's in the chat. What's up? New amp that week. Love my divided by 13 new amp. We like a new amp. We like a new guitar. Siegfried Gotts in Germany. Love to you all. Oh, that's lovely, isn't it? So Tim C's in the chat. Who else have we got? Ford MJ is in the California desert. Hope you got plenty of water. Steve K in Boston. John Prendeville is here. Best guitar book out there. Oh, thank you very much. Here we go. Where are we going? We've got lots of repeats here. We have got who else have we got in here? Sandy B. Hey, good to see you, Sandy. I'm just scrolling down now here. We've got a lot of the same names here. The comments are going a bit wild. Try and keep up with them. Walter Dog is in the chat. Just made it. Now got to find your guitar. Make sure you do. And then we are at the bottom. We've got Wolfgang Kramer. And in here, please show the scale for peace. Yeah, we'll be showing it you. And then you're playing pentatonic. Jackie Blunt is in the chat. Right, we are done. And actually, that's a nice place to end the likes there, guys. 100 likes. That's cool. Right. So, like I say, what we're going to do is we're going to talk about. I need to set this up as well a bit for you. So, the idea, and like I say to you, the problem with patterns is they can be, the big boxes, they can be overwhelming, but you end up forming this habit of just of just playing up and down them, you know, and then trying to find things on them. You know, you have a few bits on it, and that's it, and that's where your licks go. Mrs. Ricky has rocked. She's here. She has returned from ferrying the child. So there we go. So they're okay. The boxes, they're fine. And then there's a thing. Now the thing that I want to show you is, let me just see if I can I'm going to zoom in a bit, actually. I'm going to zoom here. Now, you might have come across this. This is what we're doing. This is what we're doing, guys. And I'm giving you context. This is all about connecting the things up. Connecting things up, right? So the way that I've shown you before, and I've shown you how this works on the channel, is you'll have seen this one. You'll have seen this. Some call it the 2 and 3 method, because you have 2 strings, you 2 notes on a string there, and then you have 3 notes here. Okay, yeah, so you get that there. Now what happens is we're starting on the flat 7 of the minor pentatonic, and that gives us the melody that I always think that this sounds like is, let me just get rid of that and get rid of that. The melody I always think it sounds like is Starry, Starry Night. Okay? Okay, so Starry, Starry Night. We're all used to doing this, and I've done this in the book in pentatonic power-ups, because if you know your box 1 where it lives here, yeah, what we do is we extend that. We can power up that by adding this bit, that side of it, and this bit here. Now what happens is, really what this does, there's 5 notes there, guys. That's the flat 7, that's the root, that's the flat 3rd, that's the 4th, and that's the 5th, right? Okay? Okay? So this one here, we take that there, all right, and then what we could do is, because of the way that the strings are tuned in perfect fourths, yes, this is, like I say, if you watch my lesson on the fretboard back lens and down goes Charles's father, you'll understand why the guitar strings are tuned that way. So what we do is we take this octave here, caged octave, this is an E-shaped octave, and then what we can do is we can find that flat 7 again here, and there's the root. Okay? Now hopefully what you can do is use your ear to help you to make sure that what you are hearing, yeah, yes, you could call them diagonal pentatonics. Yeah, they're as old as time, are these, yeah? So, but the thing is, there's some information that I feel that is missing, yeah? Right? And it's like, and this is what I'm going to do, is I'm going to give it context. It's like, instead of, what we tend to do is we look for where box 1 is, yeah, or box 2 is, or wherever the box pattern is, and associate the 3, 2, this is what I call it, a box. I call it a rectangle and a leg, because look, there's a rectangle, yeah, and then if I extend it up a whole step, I get a leg. Okay, right, now this is going to make more sense, because the thing is, I'm going to extend this as well. Okay, so I can take that up there. Now, going up onto this middle string pair, so this is E and A string is a string pair. Then if I go to the D and the G string, it's a string pair. And then if I go from the B to the E string, that's a string pair as well. So if I take this here, you can hear it's the same thing. Now, if I go up from that flat 7 again on the D string, using a D-shaped octave, that puts me in the position I need to be able to repeat the whole thing again. Right, now that works with the A minor chord that you may see here, yeah? So you may associate that shape there with box 1. It's a very useful thing to be able to do. You can then lead you up into the Chuck Berry zone here. But then what we do is we can extend it that way. And then essentially what it means is we get the minor pentatonic on 3 string pairs. So look. So that's 5 notes. That's the minor pentatonic starting on the flat 7. Then Then we've got the minor pentatonic starting on the flat 7 again. Then what we do is we go up again, yeah? And you can see the cool thing about that is we get to cover all this territory. And that seems to be where most people let it live, yeah? That's the thing, but there is more to it than that, and that's what I'm going to show you. Now, the other thing that happens is, if we looked at this pattern here, this is box 2 of the minor pentatonic, but it is also box 1 of the major pentatonic. I'm going 5, 7, 4, 7, 4, 7, 4, 6, 5, 7, 5, 7 there, guys, yeah? Yeah? So we've got that going on there. And we need to learn that for the shapes, and that's what I'm saying. Let me just reiterate, yeah? This is where the shapes come in useful. The full 6-string box patterns come in useful. Yes, but what we're not doing that today. So we're doing something completely different. So let me just state that. Yeah, we're not ruling them out completely. Now, the other way that we could do this, if we take this idea of a rectangle and extending it up a step with a leg, this is what I call it. Well, what we can do is we can reverse that idea, and what happens is we get the major pentatonic instead. So say here I had, this was in A minor. Now if I want the major, what I do is I switch it around and I do the leg first, yeah? So I go leg, there, and then what I do is I put the rectangle on that string pair. Yes? Yeah? Now, if I finish it off on the next string pair there, you should be able to hear. You've got a reference there. You have a reference. You know what that song is? Put it in the chat there, guys. Yeah, maybe even the first lyric. Yeah, so now what happens is that note there takes me into my next string pair, which is cool. Now, there's a little tricky bit with this, that it switches over here onto the B string, and we have to, and what we have to do is we have to compensate that pattern ever so slightly to get onto this one. Now, what should I do? I do leg. Yeah? There we go. So that's the whole pattern finished. Okay, but the important bit is I actually just showed you what it was, what it is that you need to know. So it's My Girl. So we've got, okay, guys. So let's zoom out. What are we gonna have to remember? Write this in the chat for tell me what the minor one is. What song do we have? What melody do we have to remember the minor pentatonic sound? Starting on the flat 7, that is, yeah. What I said that was. Shall I sing it? Starry, starry night. Yes. If it's the major, we've got My Girl. Okay, so just log those in your brains. If you think about it and you want to work out a song and it's got scales and it's like you're thinking to yourself, does it sound more like My Girl or does it sound more like Starry, Starry Night? Okay, you can kind of think about these things, like think about it like that. Okay, so that's just showing you the way that it is commonly used. And what we do, and what happens is people jump up the octaves, jumping up the, yes, it's Vincent, isn't it? That's the one. I just call it Starry, Starry Night, but it is Vincent. Rattlesnake Roy is right. Yeah, so what you're doing is you're jumping up there, and that is a very limiting way of doing it. So what we're going to do now is I'm going to show you. I'm going to switch over to pen and paper for this one, guys. Yes, and I'm going to show you how I do this. So what we've got is we have a sheet of paper here, and then I'm going to show you this. This is actually from the C shape. Yes, this is the back end portion of a C shape, but it's a C shape in second inversion. What we get is 5R3. Okay, 5R3, guys. Right, I'll just show you. Oh, can I get this overhead camera to work? I might have to push that over that way. I'm getting clever with this. I'm getting a bit clever. Let's have a look. See if this one works. Oh, there we go. Right, so this pattern that I've got here, the reason it's on these 2 frets, don't mistake this as being fixed at the 2nd and 1st fret, guys. This is a movable idea. This is completely movable because it's all about moving the shape. If we were to tie it in with the shape that it's from, this is the C major chord, okay? But what I can do is I can put a 5th in there, right? Now you can see, yeah, this, look, it looks a bit like an E shape, doesn't it? If I take my first finger off, you can see it looks like an E shape because it's the 5R3. It's that 2nd inversion. Okay? We're going to start off as well here. We're going to start off this with the major shapes, okay? So we're going to do this. And what we're going to do is essentially we're going to go down in string groups, okay? String sets. So this one here, what it does is it uses the 5th, the root, and the 3rd of that C shape there. And like I say, this is completely movable. Watch this. Move it up here, look. There you can see 5R3. It's still going to be the same thing. So not only are you learning your scales, yes, you are learning your triads as well. So this is the thing, because the triads are going to give context. So this is the idea. Like I say, let me just move this on. Just need to show you, I need to convince you guys. It doesn't matter where I put this. Yeah, there's still the same shape. It's a 5th, root, 3rd. Now, if I know where my root is, then I can name the chord. Now, that happens to be on an F. And if I play that there, I know that's an F in 2nd inversion. But the thing that I really want to know about this is that root, because that's why 5R3 is so important, guys. It's where that root note is, yeah? So if we have a major scale, what we can do is we can play, if we've got a major chord, sorry, what we could do is we play a major scale on top of it. Now, hopefully, hang on, because the thing is, it's like we need to make sure that, oh, hang on, where we go? The main camera? Oh, I've buffed up my main camera. I think, oh, there we go. No, I'm not. I'm zoomed in. Yeah, so the thing is, like I was saying the other week, it's chords on chords. That's one approach. We put triads on top of triads. We can put extensions on top of triads. We can superimpose triads. We can do lots of different things with thinking about how we put triads, blocks of notes on top of blocks of notes. But what about scales on top of blocks of notes? So this is the way the way I'm thinking about it. Finding that root note is going to be super, super useful. Now, the thing with the whole deal with this is, with the string pairs as well, is we not only do we have these string pairs here, yeah, so we've got the E and the A string here, okay, that's a string pair. Those are tuned to a 4th. Just for those who don't know this, those are tuned to a 4th. The D and G string tuned to a 4th. The B and the E string, did I say the D and G string tuned to a 4th? The B and the E string are tuned to a 4th as well. But what we have is we have a subset. That's in the book. Yes, we have a subset. And the subset is these here, right? The A and the D string, they're tuned to a 4th as well. So any patterns that we find here, yeah, are going to work on that string pair as well. Now, the reason it goes wrong here between the G and the B string is that's not tuned to a 4th, that's tuned to a major 3rd. So what we have to do is, if I wanted to play that on between the G and the B string, I have to compensate. So look, watch what I do here, guys. I'm going to go box, but I have to skew it. Look, it ends up being a rhomboid, and then I'm still going to put the leg on. Yeah, and you can hear I still get the same tune. Yeah, Starry, Starry Night. Yeah. Yeah, we still get that same thing here. Now, the cool thing is because we know this is the flat 7, we know that's going to be our root note. I played the minor there. Now, what if it's the major? What I have to do is I have to do a compensation on this as well. Now, watch what I do for the compensation on this. I've got, this starts with leg, then rectangle. So I do my leg, but the rectangle shifts into a rhomboid shape as well. Yeah, you'll probably be aware of this from your pentatonic when you do this. You see? When you're moving up into the house of blues, it's nice to be able to know what it is where you're going, because sometimes it's hard with the box patterns to see where the transitions happen between them. And what this does is it helps you to move through the transitions as well, okay? Okay? There we go. Right, so we've got that pattern there. So that is the major pentatonic, but that's just showing you how that disrupts it. Okay, we're gonna figure that out as well in today's lesson as well. But let's tie this back into this pattern here. Okay, we're gonna go here. We're gonna go back on this one. Now, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna show you, because this is major. This is what we have to think about, guys. We're gonna put the major pentatonic on here. So let me just put the scale formula major pentatonic so that you know what it is, and I'll put the scale degrees on here. So we've got a root. We've got a second, we've got a third, we've got a fifth, and we have a sixth. See you later, Phil. Enjoy yourself. So what we've got is that. So that's what we're going to do. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this on here. Remember, the major pentatonic, what I do is I go leg, rectangle. Okay? That's what we've got. We've got leg and rectangle. So let's put the leg on. The leg takes us up to the second. I'm gonna put some colours on this. I'm gonna put some colours on. Yeah, I'm gonna put that on there. And then what I do, it's very easy for me to see now. What we're gonna do is we put the second on. We need to put the third on. Now we already have the third here, which is interesting because we can leverage that if we want. But we're gonna put it just here. So we'll put the third there. And then we need the fifth. Remember, the power chord shape looks like this. There's the root. There's the fifth. That would be the power chord shape just there. And then the sixth goes here. So hopefully what you can see we get is we get the leg and then we get the rectangle. Now, this is really cool because what we do now is we take this. This is not in the book. No, it is not in the book, Chef Canner. So we got this here. Look, so can you see my hand on this? Let me switch back over to this one here. And I've moved my guitar. There we go. Ah, there she blows. Right, so I'm going to use this position here because I'm just going to use the original C shape here. 5R3. Now what I do is if I use this root, because I know this goes 5R3, guys. This is why these second inversions are so cool, yeah? 5R3. From the root, you can hear now that what happens is I have a position to put a scale on. I use the root note of this triad, second inversion triad. So when I'm playing a C chord here, I can then launch from a chord and I have another place to do it. I'm not going like this. I'm not thinking, all right, I'm in C here. So now I have to move up to box one or somewhere else. I'm in the vicinity because I have a note. This is the common note between the triad and the pentatonic shape. Yes? Hopefully this makes sense, guys. Yeah? So that's what we need to happen. Right. Just to show you, demonstrate it. Look, I'll put it up here. Put it on here. Now the root note of this is a D. 5R3. So I know this is why you need to know your notes on this. Refresher on the leg rectangle. Leg rectangle goes. We start on a note. Yes. This is the root note. Sorry, I'll do it here. This is the root note. This is a C. This is the second. This is the third. This is the fifth. And this is the sixth degree of the scale. And if you see there, you can see there, there's the formula for the major pentatonic there. Okay, so we've got that business all going on there. Yeah. Now, the thing is, the beautiful thing is it means you can play a C, which will lead you into how to play your box 1 pattern with the C major, because the C major and the A minor, you see the C major and the A minor, they're actually inversions of each other. Really, that's what it is, okay? They're just Mr. and Mrs. So that's what we're doing. We're taking that. I'm just showing you that this doesn't matter where I put it. And here's the cool thing, guys. It's like I think to myself, right, well, it's in E flat. Somebody says, oh, you're soloing in E flat. Okay, 5th, root, 3rd. There's the root. Yeah? That puts me there. And then there's the shape. And I know that the full shape is going to live there. Now, the cool thing is that I can play this with all the major chords in the key. Remember, look, so this works, guys, on chords 1, 4, and 5. You can treat them differently as well. But this works on all 1, 4, and 5 because at their heart they are major. Yes? Okay? That's the one, right? So look, so we've got that there. Now that is the first 5R3 that we encounter. Do I have to shift this over here? Let me just move this over here. Right. So let's have a look at the next one that we're going to do. And I'm going to keep this in the same position. So this is the C shape. Right? It's strange that it doesn't look anything like a C shape. You just remember in box, leg, or leg, box. Yes, leg, box, box, leg. But rectangle, I call it rectangle for a specific reason. Yeah. Now, what I'm going to do is what I'm going to do is just go across. I'm going to go 5th, root, 3rd. Yeah. Right. That's on the E, A, and D string. So what I need to do is I need to move that over one string and work out the permutations for this. Okay. So what we do is go 5th, root, 3rd. And now what we've got is we've got an E shape. So we're still tapping into cage. And like I say, you'll recognize these from the ones from the master triad shapes. Okay. So now all I need to do is I need to apply that same idea here. And we are not limited now to just playing this on string pairs, because the string pairs exist in subsets as well. So not only do we have the E and A string pair, the D and G string pair, and the B and E string pair, we've got an A and D string pair, but something funny happens here, but we have to compensate for it. But let me just write the scale out here as well, guys. So root, 2nd, 3rd, we've got the 5th, we've got the 6th here, and let me just put some color in that as well. Now this is going to be super, super, super useful, right? Okay. This is going to be super, super useful when it comes to playing. If you want to think about it, I think the easiest way that I think about it is coming from this position here. Look at that. This is an F sharp chord, a bar chord. All right, and I don't even need to put it on as a bar chord. I can cheat and put that finger down there. But this is what I'm thinking. When I strip it all back, guys, look. I've got that. Yeah? It's the same thing. Bless them all. Yeah, if you want to hear the major triad in second inversion, bless them all. We take that there. But we know because it's a second inversion, we're going to have 5th, root, 3rd. Okay, so we take the root. Yeah, now all I do is I go up and I'll go up the leg. Yeah, I find it's easy enough to go from your first finger and then drop in the rectangle. Or what you can do is draw the leg out first, slide into the rectangle. What are you saying, Phantom? Oh, it probably could do. I wouldn't be surprised. It's just really hot and clammy here. Yeah, so look, it doesn't matter where you are. Yeah, so that is what's going on here, guys. So this is just using the E shape. Now, John's just put something there. He says, ties in perfectly with L7, and it does, but the L7 is part of the equation. But what we get to do with this that I'm showing you here, guys, is we get to use all 5 caged chords, yes? So this is this shape here. Now, right, hopefully that makes sense. Let's move on. Let's move on to the next shape. If you know how your 5R3 shapes go across, and this is why these three are massively important, the A shape is the next one. We've got the fifth, we've got the root, we've got the third. So it means that we could hold it like this. Now if I've got this note here, this is where we've got to think about this, yeah? Let me draw this on the old sheet here. Like I said, this is going up in PDF Club. Fifth root, third. And we're looking at this note here. There's the root. So what I do is I go up a step and I go up to the third because I know I'm going to move into my rectangle here. But what I've got to do is I've got to look at that little kink in the tune in there between the G and the B string, and then I've got to modify that rectangle now becomes a rhomboid. So what I do is I put the fifth here and I put the sixth here. We get this skewed shape, okay? So this is what happens. We get this. Yeah, so look at that. Now when I play my A chord now, and it doesn't matter where I play it. Look, I'll play it anywhere. I can play it arbitrary. I'll play it here in B flat. So you're not scared as long as you know where the chord shape is. And this is how easy it is, guys. You go, okay, that's an A. Okay? Right? So we go, if we go down A, we can think of that as A flat. And the open strings are a G chord. You've got a G chord, a triad, fifth, root, and third on the open strings. So you think about it, G, you've got a G, where am I looking? A D, a G, and a B. And the G is in the middle, and that's your root note. So you can use that for this. Look, play a G. But I'm jumping ahead of myself a little bit there. But the thing is, the idea is, you'll see that this works everywhere. B flat. You don't know where to play? You might think to yourself, okay, well, I'll go to B flat and I'll play that pattern. You don't need to think that anymore. So what you do is you might even have that Hendrix chord down that I showed you the other week. Look. So we go, look, we start on a B flat chord here, lads. Yeah? Ooh. Yeah, it's really sweaty here. So what we've got is we've got that there, going across there on that pattern there. But hopefully, guys, does this make sense? You can see that wherever you got that shape, you just think to yourself, where do I launch? And I love this because the third finger is a natural finger for launching off into shapes. So, because everybody tends to use the bully finger, the index finger, to start in a pattern. I'm going to play lead guitar, therefore I must start with my index finger. The third finger is a good alternative, yeah? So we take that there. So we take, we're going to do the leg, yeah? Yeah? So that's where it lives, and that's a C chord. So you can see, we're looking at major scales. No, we're looking at minors as well. So we're going to look at minors as well. So let's look at this. So going along, we've used, you can see there, what we've done is we've used up the E, A, and D string. We've used up the A, D, and G string. We've done the D, G, and B string. And now we're on to the last three, which gives us our trusty old. Now, I'm wondering if I'm drawing this in the right spot because I might have been better to take it back a fret. But let's have a look. We've got the second. We've got the third. Now, we're back on track here. We're back on track. Okay? We're back on track with the major pentatonic here, the root, second, third, fifth, sixth. That's the major pentatonic. But what we're doing is we're tracking that root note on the chord shape to tell us where to place the pattern. Yeah? So that's what we're doing. So hopefully this makes sense. So, okay, let me just work through this and then I'll come back to questions. So what we've got is we've got this. Okay? 5R3. Now what's happened is, like I say, we're back on the perfect fourth between the B and the E string. So now I've got a scale. I'm down here and somebody says, play something. Where do you launch your lead? You've got this finger. Okay. And then my chord is just underneath. And then the thing is, somebody says, okay, right, well, after that D chord, it goes to a G. So you go there and you go. The shape is the thing. We move the shape and we attach the scale to it. Okay. Okay. Even the odd one from the lessons the other day. Damn, you can see those triangles. Well, let me just say, it's so hot. Let me just say, I'll take a sip of water here. This is, you see, the thing is, the other week we did pentatonic elevator triangles. The elevator triangles is a way of navigating through this as well. And what you'll start to see is where you can, hopefully you can see them. Look. There's an elevator triangle there. Look, there's a little one. Boom, boom, boom. Yeah. So you've got what you've also got is you've got your rhomboid shapes, but I think it's a little bit easier, and that's why I thought to myself, I think the triangles are probably going to be a little bit easier to navigate your way through this sort of stuff on the G and the B string. So just a different set of rules on that string pair, because that's what happens. Okay. So hopefully that makes sense. What we've done there is, let's just come over to the main camera here, and we'll take the zoom off there. So what we've done is we've just looked at those 5R3 shapes, yeah, second inversions, and we've got 4 string sets that we put this leg and rectangle major pentatonic pattern on. Yeah, so we can launch that anywhere. We can think of it as as two most common bar chord shapes. Yeah, so we've got this one. Yeah, there's the 5R3 there. Here's the A shape. Yeah, and I think was David Doty, might have been somebody who said earlier. We have a way of seeing this. Who somebody said something. Sandiso said, Natuta says, which intervals do you bend? Intervals in scale up to the scale notes. Yes. Rosetta Stone interval explanation tangent needed. 5R3 isn't by accident. I don't think it is myself. I think there's an elegance to the fretboard. So that's what we're talking. Yeah. Since this hopefully makes Yoda, Ricky. Yes, indeed. So is there a similar relationship for minor pentatonic and minor triads? We're getting there. But the thing is that I really want to tie in this idea that if you use the L7 grid, yes, right, there, that shows you the 6 chords in your major key there. Major triads, minor triads. You can build them shapes there. Off there. So that's just tying it in with the L7. If you wanna kind of find a place to put it, know what key you're in, because this is what it is. You find your grid, yeah, and then you find your shapes, okay, then you find your shapes, and then you attach the scales, okay. Hopefully this makes sense. I've just said it again, didn't I? Yeah. So Edward says the last 3 notes of the A-shaped penta are those parts of the BB box. No, I see the BB King box as being a kind of a hybrid between 2 different scales, like what I kind of call the Voodoo Blues and box 4 of the minor pentatonic. But the thing is, it's like that's worthy of a whole lesson all and of itself. I talk about the BB King box, the Albert King box, and the 3 Kings actually, and Albert Collins for that matter. That sounds like that might be a good lesson actually. That would be a good one. So what we're gonna do, right? Okay. So hopefully that makes everybody is up to speed on that. Okay. So we've got major chords. And hopefully what I'm going to do is I'm just going to show you. So look, just to recap, let's recap on this. Yes, BB box is above the A shape. I don't see it like that. I don't personally. I see the BB box is a different proposition. Yeah, because it's more of a scale alteration. So what we do, right? Let me just recap and just show you this, guys. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you in this position here, 5th through 3rd. Okay. And I'm thinking this is a major because it's a second inversion. Yeah? Okay. We take that down a string set. Right? We've not changed chord shape either. Still the same shape, which is kind of cool. I like that. Okay, now what we do is we do change chord shape on this. I'm going to take this one here, 5th root 3rd. We take that there. And then on the D shape. Okay, so now you've got to admit that's cool. You've got to admit it. You have to admit that that's cool because essentially we've instead of being trapped in this idea, just following the octaves up the string pairs. Yes, that's good for going distance. But the thing is where do you start? Where do you start with the shapes? Yes, where do you start? This applies to all of the shapes. Yes, and I think that's pretty cool. Now, this isn't all of the puzzle because what we've got is we've got another triad that we want to look at with this, guys, because I think we need to go across this as well. I want to be fully in depth with this. Okay, what we're going to do is I'm going to switch over to this again, right? And then what we do is we're going to zoom in and we'll zoom in here and I'll show you this. Right, these here are all 5R3s. Yeah, we've got four string sets that are using 5R3s. But what we need is a root position one. And what we're going to do, I'm going to do this backwards because it's a little bit easier to see. Right, okay. Now this gives us other options. Yeah, now these top four are absolutely marvelous, yes, as they are. But what's happening is, and I'll just put this here, I'm just going to name these shapes here. That's the E shape, that's the A shape, this is the D shape. And this is how you use caged, guys. This is how you really use it. Now this one here, what shape does that look like? Yeah, if I knock, have I got a piece of paper that I can just knock that on the head with? Let's have a look. Oh, hang on, I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll use one of these. Use a little post-it note. So if I take that there, it looks like the bottom half of a G chord because it's your G shape. So the rhomboid lives on the B string. Yeah, it goes. The rhomboid lives between the G and the B string. That's where it is. Yeah. So the rectangle it morphs into a rhomboid. So right. So look at this here. Yeah, G shape. But here's the thing. This is what's different about these. Is these ones here. These are all 5R3s. Okay. These are all 5R3s. These here are going to be root, 3rd and 5th triads here. So, okay, hopefully this makes sense. So we've got this here, root, 2nd, 3rd, 5th, 6th. It's exactly the same shape. It's exactly the same shape, guys. Look. So what we do is we take the shape and we go like this. So I could take the G chord here. There, and I'm just playing it in its natural position, in its easiest position to see. You can see that that's where it lives. Right, but what we're looking for is we're looking for that. We're looking for the root, 3rd, 5th. Now, if I wanted to do it in A, all I need to do is picture that part of the shape there. Look, if you can see the G shape, or if you imagine that you had a capo on there, transposing the whole thing. Okay, so this is the thing. Okay, so now I go. Yeah, so I can put that there, but I can also, because I know that. Yes, that is going to be the same. It's going to be the same as the E shape. We'll get to that one. Yeah, you can see that. There's the E shape. The G shape and the E shape, they intersect with each other there. There's the G shape. This is moving into the E shape. That's the kind of intersect between those two there. So you have the G shape there. We're going to call that the G shape. Now that's really cool. But hang on. Are we done with this idea? Are we hummers? Right? So, all right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this over here. Now what have we got? We're still looking for that root note there. Now what shape have we got there, guys? What does that look like? If I put my little, this is my head nut. Oh, sorry, put it there. If I put my head nut on there, what shape does it look like? If I had another finger there. Yes? You know, so this is the thing. You've got to relate them to the chords, because the thing is that then they'll fit on top, and it's like you play the correct sounds. But pentatonics, hang on, this is really, really important. Pentatonics are skeletons. Pentatonics are 5-note scales. Diatonic scales are 7-note scales. If you remember if you saw the lesson, guys, I did a lesson ages on adding 2 notes to the pentatonic box patterns. Do you remember that? Yeah. If you don't, then it's somewhere on my channel. Yeah, and it's like, and all you did was to turn the pentatonics into modes. You added 2 extra notes. Okay. So you think about it. This idea, it ends up becoming something bigger. It's going to become something bigger, and it's going to help you to see notes that are close. You'll see the scale degrees, and you might think to yourself, actually, I can add that to the chord and make it into an add 9 or whatever, like I was talking about last week with chord shapes. Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. Yes, so C shape. So you can see what we've got is we've got the C shape. Let's draw it out again. Let's do the same thing. Root, second, third, I think. Now, the thing is, if you're thinking to yourself, yeah, Ricky, we get it. We understand the shape and everything else. Then, right, okay. You don't need to draw all of them out. I do need to draw all of them out. Shall I tell you for why? I'll tell you for why. Because the more I do it, yeah, the more, if something is nice and boring, right, of understanding what the shape is and seeing the shape, it's like someone saying to you the same thing over and over again until you know it. You just know it. Yeah, so I'm drilling this, and I do not apologize for repeating this, yeah, because you need to see all the permutations, and it needs to feel just a little bit like, yeah, I know it, and then because you know it, next time you pick up your guitar and you try to implement it, it'll be a no-brainer to add this to your shapes. You will learn. This is the thing, yeah. Reinforce. That's what I always do. So. Okay, so we can see it's there. It's on the C shape. So I can play my C chord now. And I think I did this. I did this this earlier, didn't it? Because look, if you think about it, 5R3. That's my second inversion. There's the full C shape. So now I can see where it lives in the proper. Let's call it the proper C shape here, right? Okay, so we've got that there. Right, so that's the C shape. Let's move along. We're going to move along another string pair. Tyro Trader. We'll do my best to make sure you keep up with us here, Tyro. Root, third, fifth. Okay? Now, who knows what shape this comes from? Who knows? Who's going to type that in the chat there and see where this shape comes from? It's easy to see this, and it's good. It's good to work these 3 shapes together and see how similar they are. Yeah, and you'll notice that fifth there. Look at the G shape. Look where the root, third, and fifth is. Yeah, and how that fret separates them. Look at the root, third, and fifth on the C shape, and look how that fret separates them. And then look at the root, third, and fifth here on this triad, and how that fret has disappeared, because that fifth is now on the B string, and we've hit the compensation zone. Yeah, we have to move this along. Now, Maria, you've put F, but F, if we think of an F like this, let me just show you. Look, there's an F. Yeah? If we take the bar off, slide it down, we can see what shape it is. Yeah, so really what's happened is we've got an E shape. But this time what we're doing is we're learning it like this. Yeah, that's the E shape. It kind of looks like that, okay? There. Winston, I'm curious where you're getting D minor from. If you're thinking on, that's a minor shape there, that's major there, okay? Which is a nice little idea in and off itself, okay? So what we're doing, we're just moving this here. So what I do, okay, it's still an E shape. I'm going to cut to the chase, okay? No worries, Vicky, see you later. So that's a C shape. All right, and this one is an E shape, okay? We're going to have this E shape here. So look, if I take this here, I'm going to play it on this G here. Yeah, so this is a G bar chord, but what I'll do is I'll disassemble it, get rid of the bar, okay, and I'll put my first finger on there to get that fifth, and then I'm going to move that finger down there, and you can see that's where I get that shape from. So this... But this is my root, this is my third, this is my fifth, okay? So if I take this now, same pattern, same pattern, guys. We only need 2 patterns. Let me write them in. It isn't hard. Yeah, it's very repetitive, but you've got to do this. Repetition is your friend. Repeat it to defeat it, guys. Repeat it to defeat it. Yeah? So that's what we've got. And this is going to happen anywhere. So if you've got this, you know you're in the key of G? Where do you start? I'm keeping the licks very, very simple. Root position, yes. So it's a root position. These are all root positions, though, if you want to think about it. That's a root position, root position, root position, okay? Okay, so there's the shape. Okay, so anyhow, don't put anything extra in, Ricky. Right, so next what we need to do is we need to come along, and then what we do is we look at the next shape, and this is going to be borrowing from the A shape. But if we think about the A shape, look at the A shape, it goes root, third, fifth, and that's the part of the shape we're going to use. We're going to do that. We're going to go root, yeah, we're going to go third. Oh cracky, I've done this on an open string, but it's okay, we know where it is. Yeah, I'm just going to cross that over onto that. Okay, put a line through that just to show you. Root, third, fifth. What we do is we go second, third, fifth, sixth. Okay, same old dealio, guys. Yeah, this is from the A shape. Yeah, so now this is another way of seeing it, but what you're doing is you're looking at the triad there. You can see the triad. There's the triad. You might play this shape. I don't know if you do. It's a nice easy way to play it. So somebody says, play a B flat chord, and you go, oh. You think, how do I play it as a cheat? There you go. Root, third, fifth. It's all there. Okay. Okay. C. Follow the root note. 5R3, 5R3. So look at that. C. This is going to be D flat, D. Right, so it just moves. Right, so I'm on this D major here. And then what I'm going to do, same pattern. Sorry, my bad. I played that wrong, guys. I apologise. What I need to do is I need to remember. Let me pull that one up there. I was on the wrong strings there. I've got to compensate here, haven't I? I have to compensate. Have I made a mess? Yes, I have. I've made a mess of this. Let me just get the Tipex mouse out, okay? Because I've just realised I've not compensated for the fret in the let's do that like that. We end up with the rhomboid. Sorry. Apologies for that. If you're trying that, mangling your fingers and wondering why it's not working, that's why it's working. It's because I didn't compensate there. Yeah, because I was focusing more on the pattern. Right, so, okay, so we take this here, because we're on the G string. There you go. Right, so, and that's the shape. Going from a D to an A here. Yeah. Back to the same one there. Now what's ended up happening is, will this switch over? Let me just switch over. Right. We get all of these. Yeah, so we get all of those shapes. Those shapes are all there, guys. Yeah, we've got 8 patterns there now that mean we've got a fully super useful way of tackling the major pentatonics, yeah, and applying them to the triads. And there's only two triads that we're doing there as well. We're not even looking at the third, fifth, and the first inversion with the third in the lower note. We're not even looking at first inversion triads, which we only really need those because we're applying them to the cage shapes as how they go across the neck, and that's what we're talking about there. Right, so supper water, guys. It's so warm here. It's so warm. The Tipex mouse, like you said, yes, definitely. It's not right. Let me take some questions. All right, and let's have a look and just make sure that everybody's okay before we move on to the minors, because there's a little trick at the end that I want to show you as well. So before we move on to the minors, let's ask some questions. Yes. See where we are. So make sure everybody knows, and I can maybe pull this up again. Okay. That last sentence was something. Oh, it's maffed in. Right, so Randy Holder was just dropping by to say hi. It's nice when people just drop by. I like that. It's F, but we have to erase it with the eraser mouse. Yes, we do. We love the eraser mouse. In fact, actually, I'll do that now as I'm talking to you. So it's the E shape with the. Does this make sense, guys? Are you trying this? Can you see how this then enables you to play this on all of those positions? It's like you're not stuck in one place. You're not stuck in the box pattern, because what you have to do is Kinky B is a right thing. What you have to do it is apply it to the shape. And then that means that you can make it congruent with chords. Yeah, if you know what key the song is in, and if you want to do chord tone soloing, but you don't want to be just stuck doing the triads, just thinking, all right, I'll play the root, I'll play the fifth, I'll play the third, and what do I do now? Yeah, then what you can do, next thing you can do is just add this pentatonic onto it, okay? Phantom says, don't I have a fan or air conditioning? Air conditioning. UK houses are built to keep the heat in, and that means that once they are hot, they are usually terribly hot, and that's it can be awful. From I understand that last comment, do I need to know you are British? Fan donation. We'll live. So it's one of those. Let me just scroll up a little bit and see if there were any other questions that I can answer in this. Ron Cruller says, Ricky, when we're practicing guitar, how much time should we dedicate to writing out shapes with pen and paper? A lot. Yeah. Blank fretboards with the natural notes on them. Don't use a fretboard diagram with sharps and flats on there as well, because it's just too much. It's too much visual noise. Yeah, what happens is, if you know your musical alphabet and you know how a sharp or a flat comes about, then what you're going to do is you'll see them anyhow. If you look at the gap between a G and an A, you'll think to yourself, well, it's either a G sharp or an A flat. But if you have it written on the paper, there's just too much there. Absolutely awful. I think it's just overwhelming, and that's what we don't want to do. So, but a blank sheet, yes. And actually, your first bunch of blank sheets, just blank fretboards, write out all the natural notes. Make your own fretboard maps. Yeah, write all this stuff out. Because the thing is, when you do that, then you're plotting it out, and it's like planning your route. And then what you do is you play it on the guitar. It's like moving house. Yeah, if you move a house, yeah, you think to yourself, all right, we're going to move somewhere new, and you've got to like work out the routes to get to your new house. So it makes sense. You look at a map, you look at Google Maps, and you plan it, and you go, all right, and you even might do Street View and look at what shops are nearby and what's nearby that you can use as a landmark. And that's what we've got to do. And by writing it out, yeah, we're doing orienteering, really. That's all it is. What is it where people devise maps? There's a fancy word for it where you make maps. Cart something or other. Anyhow, so yes, write things out, whatever it takes. Writing things out actually helps things stick a little bit better, in your brain, and just a little bit. You don't have to do too much. You don't have to go on a monster session, like writing all the diagrams out like I tend to do. Yeah. So, but once you start to see these things, then it feels like, and I will say this is important. It's like when you write them out, and even though I might have told you them, and when you write them out and you see them, you discover them yourself. You go, oh yeah, that's what the moment you're looking for, because that's when the knowledge becomes intrinsic. Yeah, because until it's locked in your brain, you don't know it. It's fuzzy. And if it's fuzzy, yeah, because you don't want to make a mistake, because that's what people are like, you won't use it. Yeah, so it's like it'll feel like it's a waste. Yeah, so the thing is, that's what I'm saying is intent. You need to have intent in all that. Cartography, yeah, that's the one. So that last shape was B. No, there is no B shape. There is no B shape, lost Sam 13th. So really that's what we're looking at there. Hopefully that makes sense. Jonas N says, so if you add a note 1.5 step after a third or 1.5 step before the root, there's a complete major scale. You answering your own questions here. So you can see where it's not just a major scale. Yeah, we look at the things that I've shown you before. Remember me talking about using 5R3s as north stars for the orbiting intervals. Remember the intervals lesson, guys? Yeah, it's on the channel. It's all there, right? And show you how you use 5R3 as your north star to find the intervals at either side. Once you know where those intervals are, and you can match them up to your modes. Yeah, because the pentatonic is a skeleton scale. Yeah, if you put an extra 2 notes on, you're putting meat on the bones and you're creating a diatonic scale. So that's what you're saying then. So if you put another note, a half step after 3 or 1, yes, you will get that. Okay, hopefully this makes sense here, guys. Wolfgang says, when we have a non-diatonic progression, can we change between the pentatonics using one of the 5R3 patterns? You see, the thing is, when you have a non-diatonic, it's like, well, what kind of chord is it that you're going through? And this is how you can utilize this to play through changes. So say for instance, a typical G here, right? This is key of G. Now I know to stay in the key of G, I've got chord 4 here, chord 5 here, chord 6 lives here, chord 3 lives here, chord 2 lives here, yeah, because I'm following the L7 grade. Now I did a lesson on how to spice up your chords, and what it is, it's about using borrowed chords from the parallel minor. So let's just assume, yeah, that what we're going to do is we're going to have this flat 3 major here. We're going to put this in. Yeah, we'll have borrowed chords from other keys, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, and now I'm going to go. Yeah, so now I can always apply these patterns to those scales. That scale was not in that key. It's a parallel, it's borrowed from the parallel minor. Yeah, it's flat 3. Yes, flat 3 major. Right, so follow the chords. The chords will tell you what to do. The key isn't always necessarily going to be the best flag, you know, saying, oh, do this. Yeah, the chords are. Yeah, the chord that is happening, yes, that's the key to it all. So hopefully that makes sense. Anyway, I keep saying that. Danny's phone, modular approach. So it is modular, yeah. Try it and find out. It's worth more than Ricky's telling you the answer. Yeah, yes. So Sean says, where's the rest of the musical alphabet? You know, K to Q and all their relative minors. Don't get me started. If there's some German folks in here, I'm surprised they're not trying to get the letter H in here. But it isn't the same. It's a parallel minor there, Sean. Yeah, that's what I was playing. Jonas says, so is the pentatonic a skeleton for every mode? Yes. The pentatonic. Look, think about it. If you, we've gone off on a tangent here, guys. I want to get into the minors again soon, but let's do this. If you think about the chords that we have in a key, yeah, let's look at the major key. We have 3 major chords, chords 1, 4, and 5. Okay, we can play major pentatonic on top of those, yeah, and not make any boo-boo sounds. Yeah, so it's very vanilla. Because the thing is, because it's a 5-note scale, it doesn't add much complexity. Yeah. It doesn't add any complexity, and never Jonas. So the thing is, those are called the primary triads. Yeah, of course, 1, 4, and 5. Those are your primary triads. But then we get the secondary triads, which are all minor. Yeah. So the thing is, you can use the minor pentatonic on those as well. You've got to be careful with some of them, especially with chord 3, Phrygian. Yes. And then chord 7, obviously this is diminished, which is minor 7 flat 5. So really, we can think of it as being a half diminished sort of idea. Okay. But right, we might be getting in the weeds a bit here, but hopefully you can start to see where this would make sense. But you can always simplify things down to the pentatonic. Why is the pentatonic so important? There is a video by a gentleman called Bobby McFerrin who does a thing where it's called Bobby McFerrin Pentatonic thing. He's doing this talk, and he gets all of the audience to be a choir before Jacob Collier. Before Jacob Collier did it, he gets them all singing, and everybody naturally knows the pentatonic, because the pentatonic is for me, I think that it's a culturally human embedded scale. All cultures have a form of pentatonic. English folk, Japanese, Chinese, all different musics. Yes, they all have pentatonics, and the thing is, they're very, very simple scales of pentatonics. Now, when you get a scale and you add more and more notes to it, the more rigid it becomes, because you're making it can't move as much. It's not as flexible. Pentatonics are extremely flexible, and that's why this is that's why this is really, really good for you to be able to, associate it with those there. So really, if you think about it, apart from the pesky minor 7 flat 5 wobbly bob chord, yeah, what we got, yeah, is majors and minors, and some people even kind of think of it as and I do as well for that matter, that the minor 7 flat 5 is really a dominant. I'm not going to get into that today, yes, but so hopefully but that's the way I think. There's major, minor, and there's dominant. There's 3 tonalities really that we're dealing with, okay? And that's all about tension and release, okay? So Dem Raven says, so just for my slow brain, using L7 grid, can you play the 3 as a major, and it's from the parallel minor? Yeah. It's really easy. Look, I'll show you. I did a lesson on it. And what I did is I included all the theory, guys, right? But if you want the chords from the parallel minor, let me just explain it. I'll show you quickly. I'm going to do it quickly. I'm going to do it really, 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 really quickly. Look at this. We're in the key of G major. Okay? So this is the key of G major. Now, we can look at this in a couple of ways. If I change it to G minor, the parallel minor, then that is my tonic. If I go up a step, I get the root note for my chord 2, my diminished chord. I'm playing a minor 7 flat 5 here. Then if I go up a half step, then what happens is I get my flat 3 for the scale. And I'm playing the natural minor here. Right, so that flat 3 there. Now what happens is that flat 3 we can think of as being the parallel the parallel, it's the major. This is chord 1 of the major of this. This is the relative major of the G minor here, B flat. So that means if this is the major, then all I need to do is play my L7 grid here. Right, so let me show you. Look. That's chord flat 3 major. This is chord flat 6 major. This is chord flat 7 major. Okay? But in the key of B flat, that's 1, 4, 5. Hang on. 6, 2. Yes? 6, 3, 2 is here. Okay? So look there. So I'm moving. That's all within the same framework, guys. So what happens is we end up being able to put that in there, borrow that chord. It's a very common chord to borrow is that one. Yes? You can hear it. So you can hear how that works in there, and you can play it as a passing chord. So look, what did I have? I had this flat 3. Sorry, where I am. There. I've got that there, and then I've there. There's that, and then there we go. That's the one there. I'm forgetting where I am. There we go. So. And then so that's how those tie in there. But the thing to see is you're superimposing the L7 grid a minor third up. Right, if we go up a minor third, those are the chords in the parallel major. That makes sense, yeah? So I can do that here. Okay. Put that there, and I can put those there as well. There's a big lesson I did on it, guys. There's a lesson on the channel. It's an upload. Yeah, I uploaded it. But thanks, Cat Bubba. Right, are we ready? Let's have another sup of this. Mrs. Ricky's had to go fetch the child yonder. Now, so let's put that sheet to the side. We're going to start with another sheet, and it's the same logic, guys. We're going to apply the same logic to this, and we're just going to move across in the string sets. But now what we're doing is we're looking at the minor tonality, because remember what I said about this one. These majors, these work on chords 1, 4, and 5. Doesn't matter what shape it is, where it is on the neck. It's going to work on 1, 4, 5 in the 5R3s or the root position, root third fifths. Okay, so let's mooch over to this again. Right, okay, so now we've got a blank sheet here. Let me just have a little look what I wrote up on there. So we're going to do the minor pentatonic. The minor pentatonic, if we're looking at it in the key, we've got chords 2, got chord 3, we've got chord 6. This is what it works, and this is in the major key. So remember, these will invert, and if you look at the Rosetta Stone video, then that will make sense. They will invert into the minor tonality. Pentatonic, right? Okay, let me just write this one out. So we're going to have the root. We're going to have a flat third. We have a fourth. We have a fifth, and we get a flat 7. Okay, so that's the formula for the minor pentatonic. Now we may know it as this. Yeah. What we do is root, flat third, fourth, fifth, flat 7. That's what we got there, right? Okay. But what we're doing is, if we remember, what we did is we started this with on the flat 7. The thing is, the root, you've got to be able to track this root. Don't think that this is the root, because it isn't. Yeah, that's you've got your first finger on for your root if it's a major pentatonic. But remember, because we got Vincent, Starry Starry Night. Yeah, put that there. That lives there. Okay. Now, what shape are we going to go off on this? Well, the first shape that we had before was fifth, and this is going to help you with your inversions as well. You could play these as chords, you know. I think it's super interesting to be able to play these as chords. Now remember, here we had the third here, but because this is minor, we have to put the flat third here instead. But one thing doesn't change. That root note still exists in it. Now what happens with this one that's interesting is that this pattern, it kind of lives out just outside the chord. It's almost on the periphery of the shape. The minor is nested within it. That's what we're going to think about. So what we're going to do is we've got that root note there. I'm going to put the flat 7 in just to kind of make sure that you can see this pattern. I'll put the flat 7 there. I've got the flat 7, the root. I've got the flat third. Now I need a fourth, which is going to go here. And then what happens is I get a flat. Where am I? What's going on here? So that's fourth, fifth. All right, that's it. 'Cause I'm looking for the 7th, and I'm thinking, well, it's there. Numpty. Right. Okay. Looking for things that aren't there. So there's the 5th. Right. Okay, so now what happens is, remember this one was rectangle and leg. I'm going to use a different colour, actually. I'm going to use blue because blue is a sad colour. Right? So what we do is we've got the pattern lives inside there. But the thing that we need to do, because it's nestled in, it can be a bit trickier to see this. Now, PDF clubbers, don't worry, I've done some fancy schmancy versions of this. There's the 5th, there's the root, and there's the flat third. So you can see how the triad shape fits inside that there. Now this is not a common shape that you're gonna play. Now if I play this here, this is gonna be a D minor. Look at this. You might not really have seen this played like this before. But listen. There's a D minor. It looks a bit like a power chord, but with the first finger below. Yeah, so look at it. Yeah. So I'm going from a D minor to a G there, look. Right, so we take that there, but that's my pattern, and I know I'm thinking to myself, that's my root note from a D minor chord. I'm looking at that, but I am definitely thinking of this as being a C shape. There's the arpeggio. And what I'm thinking is, it's all about that string there, where the root lives. Because it's either going to be a C shape, C minor, there, going back, 5th through, flat third, or it's going to be an A shape going forwards. Okay, so what we do now is we know that that's there. And I can see where that lives. Yeah? Fifth root, third, flat third, sorry. Fifth root, flat third. Am I still on? It's all a bit quiet. Right, okay. So now so we can take that. And I could play that there. Moody. You could play that there. Your bass player going. You can play that there. Notice I'm playing a minor 7 there. Yeah? So I can play all sorts of other chords that are based around that minor sound. So that is the first one that we're looking at on the E, A, and D string set. Let's move the shape over. Yeah, as we move the shape over, you'll start to see that these shapes. Hang on, it's the fifth, the root, flat third. Right? Doesn't look familiar yet, does it? Oh, well, it might do. If we put the head nut on it, put the head nut on, we can see what shape it looks like. So, and I think of this as being a C minor shape, and this goes a long way. Let me just zoom out a minute, guys. This goes a long way to understanding caged minors. Okay, something that is a lot of stuff is about caged. But it's always majors. It's always about the majors, and I'm guilty of that myself. But with my students, I teach the caged minors as well. But this is me showing you. You see how this works. This is how we modify those caged majors into caged minors as well. So let me just come back to a zoomed in job here. So let's put that there. Right, now it's embedded again, guys. I wonder if it'd be easier if I was a little bit lighter. I'll tell you what I'm going to do. So I'm going to do the shapes. You can see, just putting them in there because it's a pattern. We end up with the flat 7, we get the 4th, and we get the 5th. Okay, let me just plonk that there. I'll be a bit lighter with that, just so you can see it a little bit better. I thought I was a little bit heavy-handed with that one there, and maybe. Let me just use this yellow. I'm going to use this yellow here to show you where the 5R3 is. The minor 5R3. Hopefully you can see that there. Yeah, I'll do it on this one as well. There. It'll change it a bit green. But you can see where the triad shape lives. It's a minor triad. But in second inversion. So now, yeah, that lives here. There. Now you've got a different place to start your pattern. Yeah, if I've got this E minor shape, you're not automatically reaching for the root note, and you can hear that it just sounds. There's the rectangle, leg, starry, starry night. When you play it like that, but when you play it like that, it doesn't. Because the minor chord overpowers it, takes it back home. Then that will work with any E minor shape. Yeah, look up the shape. I'll take this away. Yeah. Yeah, so you can hear how that works there on that one. Right, let's fire through these, because I know you probably get into the point where you're going, oh, Ricky, I know what's going on now, mate. Right, so let's look at the next one here. Now, I have to be careful about reserving some space. The next we've dispensed with the A, the D, and the G string pair here. What we're going to do now is we're going to do the fifth, the root, and then look, we've got to compensate. Remember, in an A shape, yeah, the major third would be here, so we've got to put the flat third here. Now that's a more commonly easy to see shape. What shape have we got, guys? Make sure you're not asleep. Let's see what shape you think that is in the chat there, guys. Yeah, so you can see. Ugh. Does that make sense? Okay. What shape is it? What can you see? What shape does that look like? If that was the head nut. Okay. In the meantime, while you're putting that in, I'll just plot the rest of it out. So what we need to do is make sure that you know where the root note is, which is easy because we know that the root note is in the middle of the 5R3, even if it's a flat 3. A minor, okay? So we know that the flat 7 is a whole step below. Hang on, I changed my colours again, didn't I? A minor shape. Yes, it's an A minor shape. So that's what we've got going on there. And let me just point that A minor shape out even more with this highlighter. There you go. So there's the A minor. Okay. So it's bang that on there. Flat 3. But you can see, look, can you see how it goes a little bit wonky? No worries, Eric. Make sure you come back. Right, root third. And then what we're going to do is we're going to put this here. Okay. That's going to be the fourth, and then I'm going to put the fifth here. Okay, let's put that on there. So there's the fourth, there's the fifth. We've got the compensation thing happening again, which we have to account for. So the rectangle becomes a rhomboid again, and it just switches there. But like, here's the cool thing with this is like you look at this here. Look, you've got a little triangle. It's a little triangle. Little triangles hook up to big triangles. Yes, if you know the pentatonics lesson about that. So let me just take that there. So anywhere where I've got this shape here, this is a B flat minor. I'm not bothered about the chord. It makes you fear no chords. Yes, C minor. Okay, let's look at this. C sharp minor. We've got this. And I can see where the shape comes in. And it marries sweeter with the Graham says, thanks, Ricky. The courier's kicked in. See you next. I hope that's in a good way. So there we go. So hopefully that's the A minor shape done there. Okay, so we've got the A minor shape. This is the E minor shape. Then on this one, what we're going to do is we're carrying on, go through all the permutations, and what we get is we get a fifth. We get the root. Now, ordinarily, the D shape, the third would go here, but we need the flat third to go here. Let's just plot out that root there. Let me draw the chord shape in. All right. It's a long lesson, guys, but it's well worth it. It's well worth it. So let me put some circles in. And now I'm back over onto perfect fourths because I'm between the B and the E string, right? So I've got rectangle, leg. Yeah, this is what this one is. This one is rectangle and then leg. Right, rectangle, leg. So we've got the flat 7, we've got the fourth here, and we've got the fifth here. So let's just draw the shape. You can see back to rectangle with the leg. Yeah. Not the rhomboid. That only happens over the G and the B. But you need to be able to see that as well. So let me just put that on there. Yeah, so we've got... So you play the shape. This is the shape. There's the triad. There's the pentatonic that's embedded in it. Now, what I like about this as well, guys, is if we're talking about tension and release. Remember when I talk about tension and release, it's like the note that releases is the root note. Okay, so look, if we go here, that's my D minor chord, 5th root. Now, I want to reserve that for ending my phrase or whatever it is that I'm saying. Now you see what I've got there. I've got the flat 3rd there. This is a flat 7. I've not resolved it yet. And what happens is the triad shows me where those notes of tension are and where they're not. Yeah, flat 7. I've got that flat 3rd there. 5th wants to go down to the root note because it's very cadential, right? So what we do is we take that there. Wherever that lives. Now, the curious thing is, guys, this is going to change how you actually see it if you use the regular way of using this. Remember what I showed you right at the beginning was, like, I think is a very limited way of doing it, using string pairs. Like this. Right? Well, what we've got is, if that's me in the key of A minor. Now, if I think to myself, oh, hang on, I've got an A minor chord here. There's the A minor chord. Yeah? So I can play that in all these different positions. And now I have these little hotspots where the scales are living inside it. Now, what we've done there so far is we've looked at the 5R3s, yes? The second inversion minor triads. Guess what we're going to do now? What? It's a long one, is this, okay? It's a parallelogram. Is it a parallelogram? I'm rubbish with my shapes. You should have seen the abuse I got with isosceles and parallel and right angle triangles and all sorts of different stuff. I don't claim to be a triangles expert or a shapes expert, but is that rhomboid? We would call it a parallelogram. I did look it up. Telefunken is incredibly late. You better do those star jumps. You would better do those. Right. So now what we're going to do is this is interesting to see, because this is a shape that you probably don't really look at much. Yeah, I'm going to put this flat 3rd in first, just a little bit easier for me to. Sorry, that's not my flat 3rd. That's my 5th. What am I on about? Because what we're doing now is we're doing the root position. So we're going to go there. We're going to go a flat 3rd. There. Look at that. Look at it, guys. Flat 3rd to the 5th. Yeah. Oh, hang on. I've done that wrong as well. What am I on about? Yeah. Okay. It's because I started in the wrong spot. Right. Let me get this. I'm going to get this. Let's do this. Shapeshifter. Yes. Right. I might even nick that. The shape-shifting method. Right. So we do this here. And then, look. That's the one. That's what I was looking for. It's because I didn't start. I thought I'd be clever and start up there. So I'm just trying to make sure I've got enough space in the box. You're going to peel potatoes. Right, so look at this, guys. Here's the triad. Remember the triad lesson that I told you about? You know, the triad voicings. I think I did that a few weeks ago. There's the root to the 3rd. That's a minor 3rd. And then from the 3rd to the 5th, we get a major 3rd. You can see it. It's really, really visible there. But that 3rd now, because it's flattened, is flat 3rd. So let me put that in. There's the shape. Okay. But what we're going to do with this is a little bit different. What happens with this one? Say what? Wait, maybe 2 notes. Now that I'm counting, because there are 7 notes between octaves. Wait, maybe 2 notes. I'm not sure what you're going on about, Shauna. But I'm just trying to keep my brain going here with this. It's so hot. Right. What we're going to do though with this one, we change the pattern ever so slightly. Yes. And what we do is we use these, it's all about, really, it doesn't matter. No, you could call it Mr. Herbert. You could call the shape by, you know, like, you know, you could call the pattern is the pattern. I'm sure, and the way I think about it is I'm sure that when we look at the night sky and we look up and we go, oh look, there's Cassiopeia, there's you know, the Big Dipper and everything else like that. Those are just labels for the things that we're identifying, the configurations of those stars that are easy to identify. And this is a similar sort of thing. It's like looking at stars in the sky at night and then giving them a name. We could call this pattern Herbert. Right? If this even makes sense, yeah, we could call it Herbert. Now, here's what happens, right? And I think this is the way that I visualize this, right? Cat Bubba, don't worry. AC Mac. I'll answer that question in a bit. Right. So here's the thing that I like to look at with this, because this is a cool way to track shapes as well. Okay. This is in the Rosetta Stone one. What I do is, instead of, we can do this, but the thing is the rectangle and the leg kind of falls apart a bit here because we're into another shape. Okay. Oh, thank you, Marcel. What we do, and I think this is the easiest way to do it, is we look at the root, and then what we do is we go across and we put in the fourth and the flat seven. Okay? So look at this, the fourth and the flat seven. Right? So this is a different pattern, but it's just to be you know, complete with this idea. We're going to put that there like that. Okay? Now what happens is, we end up with this kind of, I'm into another shape here. And this is a trapezoid. Yeah, so we get a trapezoid here. Right? And that trapezoid, what we need to do is we need to link it to the root note. And we link it by that there. So essentially, we end up with those three connecting. We get a triad there. And we get this extra bit here. These extra two notes here. If you think about it, a triad with an extra two notes. What is it, guys? It's 5 notes. 5 notes is a pentatonic. Pentatonic, 5 tones. Okay? So what we got with this one is, so let me play this here. So I'm going to play this here. This is an A minor. So there's an A minor there. So now I've got this pattern here. And what I do is I get to employ parts of the shapes that I already know belong to the key. A minor. C major is going to figure in it somewhere as well. Look, looks like the C major at the top. So that's there. But we're starting on this root position triad. But this is a G minor shape, okay? So when we're looking at caged, this is what I would think of as being the G minor shape. We'll just add these extra 2 notes and then build the trapezoid and bridge over to this, okay? No worries, Martin. So let's take it over. Let's take it over another string. So we've used this one here, this string set here. Let me make sure I am going to have enough to go through this. Flat 3, and then we get the 5th here. Yep, this is a C minor shape. Hang on, we've already encountered that. There. Yeah, so the thing is, this becomes another way to play that chord. Let me outline the triad. Okay, there's the root. But now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the 4th and the flat 7 just there, and it's just easier just to just do it. Yeah, and then what I do is let's put the trapezoid in, because we have more shapes. You see, we put the trap in, and then we just link it to the root there just to show the path. Yeah, and then then what we do is we get this. So I'm going to play, this is a D minor, and then you can see this a bit of stretching, but look, trapezoid, which is a tone, whole step with a minor third. But what you get is this lovely third on the top. Yeah, so we get that there. Right? Hopefully that makes sense. There's the A shape that I could use there, but this is the C minor shape. And that makes sense because if we think about the acronym CAGED, C minor shape, yes, A minor shape comes after it, C, A, G, E, D. Okay? So, got this. And then that enables you to hit those money notes with that chord there. Right. So we're getting there. We're getting there, guys. Now, just be careful. Just watch this. Be careful. Root, fourth, flat 7. Okay? It will sound like a lot of stuff. If we take that root, right, we put the flat third here. And then, oh, hang on, what we're doing? No, the flat third. Where's the flat third? Yes, it goes there. It does go there. Flat third. And then what we do is we're going to compensate. So that fifth comes up here. Okay? So let me write out the pattern there. So this is the pattern here. This is a really common minor pattern. This is coming from the E minor shape. Okay, this is coming from the E minor shape. So what I'd be doing is I'd be going like this. Yeah. There's the major, there's the minor. Just like that. I explained at the beginning there, Tyro. Right, so what we're going to do is we're going to remember the fourth, and then we're going to that flat 7. But what we're going to do is we've got to compensate again, flat 7. Okay? Right. So we take this here. And then what happens is that trapezoid shape reverses. But you can also see in there, we get a large triangle as well. And then we connect that up there. All right. So now, wherever we see this shape, yeah. Now you can see that in your pentatonic box. Okay. Right, that's cool. Oh, look. I can hook it up to that one as well, because this is where it all starts to mesh, guys. I'm trying to get there. It's quite long-winded getting through this, so thank you for bearing with me. Yeah, but it is worth it. Let's move on over to the next string set, and then what happens is we get the root, the flat third. Let me put these here. So we get the root, we get the flat third, right? And then we get the fifth. That's right, isn't it? Yes, of course it is. Right, so we get the root, the flat third, and the fifth there. And this is a nice, easy way to see that. And it looks a little bit like the major one, you know, that was a string set over. So we get that there. And then I'll draw the shape in. And then I'll put the fourth The fourth is going to go. We have to compensate with the fourth, but because we're back onto a perfect fourth one here. There, right, and we end up back on this regular job here with the trapezoid shape. Okay, so we end up with the trapezoid shape, but that's still, that link up still works here. Al says, do I have to learn the 5 shapes of the pentatonic scale? Yes. I think the thing is, box shapes are not wrong. Yeah, somebody says that. My knees hurt. Yeah, box shapes are not wrong. Someone's coming to have a disagreement. The thing is, right, what happens is, I explained at the beginning of the lesson why they can be too much. They're a lot. And what I'm doing is I'm showing a modular way of working around this one. So that's what we're on about here. We still need to learn the pentatonics boxes. We still need to learn them, yeah? There's easier ways to learn them, but what we're doing is we're pulling them apart, we're dissecting them in a different way. And what this does is it means that we're liberated and we're not stuck in 5 positions. Because, I mean, Lord knows, this sheet alone shows you how to play them in 8 positions. It shows you how to play the pentatonic in 8 different positions. So you think about that, yeah? Because we're basing it on a string set idea of landing them on a string set. And then we've got the major pentatonic that we've got in 8 positions as well. But that sounds complicated, but we don't. We just associate it with triads. And this is the whole thing, because when we associate the pentatonic with the triads, yes, when we associate the pentatonic with the triads, or the chord, then what we're doing is we're marrying the correct scale with the chord that you are playing in that song, in the action chord. Okay, so that's the thing. I did an overview at the beginning, and that's the thing. So really, so what I'm showing you here is this. Okay, so we've got, there's the shape. Look, you can see it's from the A minor shape. Is this? Yeah. So hopefully you can see that's from the A minor shape there. All right. Okay. You saw my ear take over on that. Yes, a little bit. So we take this. We take that there. There's my root. We take the pattern there. Now, actually, I'd probably start that with this because, look, guys. Yeah, if you can't move away from the box patterns, this one here, it's just a chunk from box pattern 4. Look, if I play it for you here, you go, where is it? I was playing it here, right? There, I played it as a box pattern. But the thing is, what happens is you lose sight of where it is. You just end up going. Doing it like this. Aimlessly noodling. But the thing is, if you know that the chord is there, that's a D minor. You know that you can... Yeah? A minor shaped D minor. There, feedback. Yeah? And that's what I've got, is I've got the root, the flat third, and the fifth there. Now, and like I say, with all these shapes, these are all transposable. And so the thing is, it becomes one of those things where people say, all right, okay, F sharp minor. Okay? In a different position. F sharp minor, you might think to yourself, oh, bugger, I don't know where that is. There's the trapezoid. And then we hook it up onto a pentatonic triangle. Yeah, I can move using my pentatonic triangles then up that awkward G and B string pair. Yeah? And then I can flesh it out into other scale patterns that I already know. I'm not saying And actually, my knees hurt said the title is a grab your title. Yeah, why not? Why not? Everybody else is doing it. You know, Minecrafters get away with the with all the crazy titles. Al says, is there a formula for which note you bend? Good question. The question that is deserving of a whole lesson in and of itself, just because it's more about, we get into technique, we get into some ideas about how you blend scales and other stuff like that. So it's a full lesson, is that, Al? I think that is really. So what we've done, is right. We've done the majors. We've done the minors. It's a long session. Class is long, man. Yeah, it's a long class. Right, now, here's the cool thing. This is the really cool thing about this, that if we want to, what we can do is, and I really like this, I think this works massively well with the, let's just move over to that. That's not the right one, Ricky. That's a main camera. Don't just play the box. Play the fragment of the box that attaches to the chord, which have these neat little shapes. Absolutely, Sean. Yes, absolutely. Ryan, sorry. Yeah, now, here's where it comes in useful, right? So look at this. If we know caged, or if we know... there's one of the lessons in the book that talks about the 5R3 shapes. Let's look at that. Let's look at this. Look at this. Look at this. It's an E shape, okay? But going off what we know, it's a major. So I'm going to use a major pentatonic with it. I find the root in the 5R3. So there's the root, right? Now what happens is, in doing that process, this is the last bit of the puzzle. I need to show you this in the majors. Right. What happens is, and this is the bit that is missing. I'm going to have to zoom in on this one, I think. This is the bit that you're missing. The rectangle and the leg is fine. Everybody teaches the right angle and leg, but this is the bit that is missing. Okay? What we do is we go up and we do a leg, then a rectangle, and then what happens is we put another leg on it, which is why I don't call it 2, 3 or any of that stuff, because it's like it doesn't make sense in that regard for me. If I take this here, what happens is root, second, third, fifth, sixth. Now watch. If I know that's my sixth, I know a minor third above it is going to be my root note, and that's going to be my money note to finish what it is that I'm saying on guitar. Yeah, so look. There, goes. I get to finish my statement. But what's also cool, guys, is I'm on another root note. Now what I can do is I can repeat the whole process again. Watch. Now I've got a different way to move up. I'm using the same idea, but I'm fixing my chords onto it. Look, I know that this is there. This is my A shape. Drops onto my A shape. Yeah, this is now onto this string pair. Look. I haven't got enough frets. Okay? If I had enough frets, then I could use it. So here, yeah, I could even take that up here. Look. So I connected it 3 ways, but I'm not just covering that much of the neck, I'm covering all of it. Okay? And this is the thing, and this is what happens with those the major ones. And if I just show you with the majors, and I'll just do a little drawing for this. This is why I think normally what happens is we get, and I see people call it a 3-2 or a something or other, but I call it leg rectangle, right? And we get the 6 there, and this is the thing. It almost reminds me of a bit of a Catherine wheel or something like that, you know, some sort of like threshing flail. Yeah. So if I take that there, that's the pattern that we have so far. But what we want to do is we want to be able to take it up here. Yeah. And if I take it up here, the distance between this and this here is a minor third. Okay. So I take that up there, and that becomes my pattern. And it gives me a new place that I can jump onto now. Now I'm on the D string. And then if I know where I am on my D string, then I can employ this pattern and then extend it. If I move on to another string, I can use different patterns and extend them. Yeah. So like if I was doing it in with this open E note here. So open E, leg, rectangle, long leg. You could call it a long leg if you want. Right, now I'm back at the beginning of the pattern again, guys. Look, so leg, rectangle. I've gone up here. Look how far I've covered. Look how far I've covered. This is the missing part of the puzzle, guys. Yeah, it isn't just that pattern. It isn't just that pattern, okay? And it's the same with the minor, okay? It's the same with the minor. We could do that with the minor as well, right? So we have 2 legs on the rectangle, and that's the way we can look at that one there. So, but hopefully, that's really so useful, you know. Let me just switch back here and go off here. G. I want to end it. My phrase. BB King thing. That's what I was when I was thinking about this. I was thinking BB King did that thing where he'd play the root note. He'd restate the root note at the end of a phrase. Yeah. So. Yeah, that whole thing about sliding a note down. I thought, well, how's that? How do you do that? And I thought, oh, hang on, so I'm in C. It shows me where the notes are, and then I think to myself, right, I'll just start again. And then I just join them back up again. So what you've got to do is you've got to put these together, join them up, okay? I'm beat now. It's so hot here. I think we're going to call that it, because we're nearly 2.5 hours in on this one. But this is one of those things that I think if you mess around with this, yeah, you will find yourself playing the box patterns less, because these little modular patterns, they're more musical. They're just more musical, guys. They really are. And that's what the whole point is if you want to do some lead stuff, you want to be more musical. Richard Seals, thanks, Ricky. Just wound up the cat and put the clock out. Like that one. It's so hot. It is just so hot here. Right. So let's have a look. Any other questions about this, guys? Because what I've been doing with these videos, I've been breaking them down. I'm breaking these videos down, and then I'm taking all the kind of chaff away, and then reposting them. I'll be reposting this, and then what I do is I break down what I think are the crucial little sections. Well, James is doing that, and then you'll see them come in during the week. So if you missed the video, hopefully the idea is to get this out to as many people as possible. So what you'll do is you'll see this, right? Okay. Now, what I should say is that the handout for this will be in PDF Club. So if you want the PDF for this, then it will be in PDF Club tomorrow. Yeah, you know, I've got some fancy shenanigans going on here, some fancy pants ones, so that'll be in PDF Club, and I don't know, you know, it's like it's one of those that I think I might do some addendum stuff with it and then put it together as a little mini course lesson thing. Might be useful. I think it's useful. Yeah. So hopefully, guys, that made sense to you. If you there's PDF Club there. If you want to just join the community, Ricky's guitar community, we're at the Fretboard Fraternity. Join the FretHeads over here. We'd love to have you along. Make sure you wallop the like. If you've got a lot out of this lesson, if you've got something from this lesson, make sure that you drop a message when the video ends on the comments of the video. That would be much appreciated, because sometimes you feel like you've said everything you need to say in the chat. James says, feel like a Saturday session about to happen. Do you know something, James? It might do. I have a new, it's over there somewhere. I've got a new pedal board that I want to assemble. So I'm thinking about just like a chat and just assemble a pedal board. You know, it might take a few hours because, I will try not to swear on it, because if anything's fiddly or anything else, like I get annoyed really quick, because I struggle to see properly. You know, when I was younger, my vision was 20/20, and I could see small things. You know, and I love that. But as I got older, you know what happens when you hit your mid-40s and then your eyesight just goes, "Hi, I'm not here anymore. I'm going. Bye. You need glasses." You can separate the minor and major. Yeah, we can do. Yes, Anik. And I think that might be a thing that happens, but we'll split it down as well. FF just had a discussion about digital pedal boards. Yes. Well, that's what we like to do in the Fretboard Fraternity. We like to talk about guitars, pedal boards, dogs, and pets, and cake. I'm hoping that Carter Hutchinson was in here tonight, who's a regular, because Carter shared his a video, shared a thing about a video that he was in. Carter's like, I want to go around to Carter's house and eat authentic Cajun gumbo and all that sort of stuff, because in the Fretboard Fraternity, Carter mentioned that he was on Diners, Dives and Drive-Ins. Yeah, and absolutely, honest to God, the food that he made in that show looked absolutely sweet. Yes. So, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, get yourself in the Fretboard Fraternity. Come and hang out with some cool people. We don't do any of the normal online nonsense. Yes. Francis says, just swear as much as you want. I think I'll crack up hearing it. Crap up. I said that's as bad as I get. Yeah, I've got to keep it clean on the channel, guys. Because, funnily enough, I just been accepted into the education program as well. So this is probably going to go out onto into schools and stuff like that. So I've got to keep it clean. Let's all go to Carter's house. Honestly, Sean, look in the Fretboard Fraternity, yeah, and you'll see Carter put a post about what he used to do, yeah, and I searched out the video because I was so impressed, because I've watched Diners, Drive-Ins, and the Triple D show, loads. I just drooled, yeah, the guy can cook. I'm telling you, the guy can cook. So that's the thing. Have a look at it in there. Hopefully this will go in, guys. It will go in. If you're in PDF Club, I'll be also shooting you a load of blank jobbies, fretboard sheets as well, to be able to draw these things out. Like I say, draw them out. like David asked earlier on, is beneficial. And you should end with this really, because the thing is, right, generally what I do is, this is lessons from the book class, yeah. So what I'll do is I'll put this up here. If you want to support my channel, you want a book with 80 guitar lessons in it, then and 80 videos that go along with it for a pittance, then this is what you do. Get that there. Yeah, go there. Diners, drive-ins and dives. That's the one. Triple D. So get the book. It will be lovely to have you in the fretboard fraternity, because the thing is, the videos for that are all in there as well. Really, really handy dandy way of doing it. I wanted it all integrated. Nice. It's very nice. Yeah, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to love you and leave you. And I think I'm going to maybe stand outside and hose myself down. It's so warm. Okay, right. Where's my button? Where's the button go? I'll tell you what I'll do is I'll do this outro. And I keep meaning to put some music on this outro. You know, something nice. Link to a vid of Carter taken from the fretboard. I should have done that as an end thing, shouldn't I? Oh, dang it. Right, okay, here we go.